She can't literally say that Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders and all the people in the campaigns believe black people are dumb or black artists are dumb, and then literally just say that all black artists are dumb. All right, I did not want to make a video on this Candace Owens Cardi B drama, but after hearing Candace Owens rap takes, I could not let it slide, so here we go.
So let's talk about the culture of music. So we have some agreements and we have some disagreements on the culture of music, famously. So when it comes to the
Ben Shapiro doesn't think rap music is real music, by the way. He thinks it's like tribal music or something. He doesn't consider it a high form of art, although albums like Kendrick Lamar's To Pimp a Butterfly is one of the most impressive works of art in music history. And hip-hop in general is probably the largest cultural export America has, and the most prominent and the most important.
culture of music that is consumed in the black community, obviously rap is at the top of the list. There's obviously a huge gap between the high forms of art that have been created by members of the black community and the rap culture of today. I mean, it's a pretty broad range between.
May I direct you to Anthony Fantano's video on Ben Shapiro's position on rap? Type in Anthony Fantano, Ben Shapiro, rap is not real music, and he will give you a good explanation.
Nat King Cole and Louis Armstrong and Duke Ellington and say Cardi B, who's now, I guess, interviewing the former vice president of the United States. What do you make of rap culture? Because you have sort of a split opinion on rap culture a little bit. Like on the one hand, you seem to recognize some of the downsides of the messages being purveyed. On the other hand, you've suggested that there are some sort of differential messages in there that might be useful.
Right. So, I mean, there are definitely a minority of rappers who are rapping about things that are actually important. And I grew up listening to Jay-Z. I don't like Jay-Z anymore because of his politics, and I think he's being used and he's become a puppet. But growing up listening to his music actually did something different for me when I was, a hopeless, impoverished person listening to his music. And he talked about how he made his way out. He wasn't talking about, killing a bunch of people. He was talking about business,
All right, this is the biggest load of, I'll borrow Joe Biden's term, malarkey I ever heard in my life when it comes to rap music. Saying, after knowing her position on rap, saying, Jay-Z taught me from a young age how to positively work my way out of being impoverished and being hopeless. Let's talk about Jay-Z's actual The Black Album and what he talks about here. All of Jay-Z's work coming up has been about hustling on the streets and pushing crack. This is my favorite Jay-Z song of all time. So you can see here, right here, I used to move snowflakes by the H to Z. That's snowflakes for crack, and then O to Z for ounces. It's a great line. Even back then, you could call me CEO of the ROC, so Rockefeller, and ROC for rock, as in crack. Fresh out the frying pan into the fire, I'd be the music biz #1 supplier. This is directly talking about cooking crack and pushing it. That is what his entrepreneurship started as. If he was rapping about that today, Candace Owens would be saying that Jay-Z is leading the degradation of black culture. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Only recently has he come out with an album like 444, which is a very mature take on the issues facing the black community and actual entrepreneurship that he learned pushing crack, being stuck in the trap with no economic opportunities and having to make his way out through that function. Candace Owens would speak out against this so vehemently. And it's so gross that she would use this album and Jay-Z as an example of what she's trying to do here with this blatant whitewashing she's doing of hip-hop culture. And I know I'm a white guy, but, if you know when it comes to this stuff. If you don't listen to rap music, you could tell when people have these stupid takes.
Black Album, he really talks about how he would not allow an industry to use him, how he understood what his worth was. These things were actually important lessons about business. And it came in a lyrical form, and it was good, right? I would say Kanye West, he's never really written about, like, go out, grab a gat, and just kill people. But unfortunately, today, that's the majority of what rap has become.
Upon editing this video, I noticed that I missed a couple things. Namely, when she says the majority of rap is about walking around and killing people. No rap says to go just walk around and kill people. They might talk about their current conditions, the environments they grow up in, like gangbanging and stuff like that. There's no one saying walk around and kill people. And by the way, the majority of rap, the top selling rap artists are all conscious, are all J. Cole, are people like Kendrick Lamar, are Jay-Z, and if you have someone like Drake, he's a pop artist. It's either pop or conscious rap. The rappers who are talking about waving guns around and stuff, they don't sell that much. They are not that widespread. People don't listen to them as much. as media will have you see it. And when you talk about working with political figures in campaigns, you talk about she's going to criticize later in this video Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders for working with Cardi B, although she hits actual major policy points. And when you talk about working with artists like Killer Mike, like in the black community, when it comes to black hip hop artists, there is a gold mine of wisdom and pragmatism and entrepreneurship and so many great things that Candace Owens is going to blatantly ignore here. But I wanted to just add that because I did not make that clear enough in the video.
Right? And so
Yeah, so 99 Problems is another very popular Jay-Z song, which I'm sure a lot of you know about. 99 Problems, but a bitch ain't one. If you're having girl problems, I feel bad for you, son. I got 99 problems, but a bitch ain't one. Hit me. Yeah, it's completely just ignoring all of these sectors. And of course, Jay-Z did use his entrepreneurship, growing and hustling and cooking crack, and he used that as a transition to entrepreneurship in the acceptable world of high society, as Ben Shapiro would call it. And he did that through analogies and different forms of art. But it's obvious where he started and what he was actually talking about. Grew up with holes in your shoes. And talking about getting money from the hood, from these deprived positions. And it was only later, again, until he started talking about building this form of entrepreneurship. And she is criticizing him now when he's making political statements, when he's saying what proper entrepreneurship is, saying how ownership is so important to the black community. Just listen to the album 444 to see how he progressed as an artist. And she's using him now as an example of what's wrong with rap because he's a puppet, and she's using this as an example of what was right. And I love both forms of Jay-Z and the whole entire process of him developing as an artist and as a man. But it's called whitewashing, and it's emphasis on white.
And I completely agree with your assessment about Cardi B. It is one of the biggest insults. If Black Americans are not insulted by the fact that Joe Biden, who has been hiding in his basement, for the entire year, made an appearance and came out because he was going to do an interview with Cardi B.
He was in the capital of Pennsylvania today, by the way.
Have nothing better to offer. I mean, this would be akin to Donald Trump saying, "I'm going to give no interviews," but he came up and he decided to give an interview to Justin Bieber. Right? I mean, Justin Bieber, I'm sorry. I know you're a Christian man. I don't even want to put you in
Trump is doing interviews with the president of Barstool. Shut up.
the same boat as Cardi B. But it would be absurd, right? White America would go, what is this? Why are you being interviewed
Yeah, white America, what is this?
by Justin Bieber? And it's because you're pandering, right? You're pandering. You look at Cardi B's Instagram, you see she has millions of followers, and you think, okay, this is an illiterate person, and if
Illiterate person. Ooh, illiterate. Low form of music. Rap is not real art. This is tribal music. Like, do you see what she is propagating here?
if I appeal to this illiterate person and she does, like she literally did in the middle of this interview, and they think she's cool, she's hip just by sitting here and taking this interview, Black people will vote for me. It's basically saying, Black people, you are stupid, you are dumb, and you're so foolish. I mean, do you think, what if she just said in the middle of the interview, Joe Biden, can you name one Cardi B album? Joe Biden, do me a favor, just one Cardi B lyric. He couldn't do it. Of course he's not, because he's being handled and they're saying Black people like this person. This is what they're into. And so here you go, talk to her. Same thing with Hillary Clinton.
Wow. Identity politics. It's only the oldest trick in America. I mean, in political history in general, using celebrity to gain popularity. It's not exactly new, but the way she's framing it as if she's illiterate and they are just using her. I think Joe Biden's campaign obviously is, but then you have someone like when Bernie Sanders spoke to her, and she actually is passionate about getting involved in grassroots politics. I mean, she might not be saying it in these big, correct terminologies and saying it in the correct how they want her to talk, but she is involved and she is giving her time to a cause. And she's giving her time to a passion and coming from a place of genuine care for the world.
She went on the Breakfast Club and she said she had hot sauce in her bag, right? She didn't know what Beyonce's talking about came from. One of her handlers said, say this, right? Probably got the questions ahead of time. Say this. Say you keep hot sauce in your bag. Right now, Beyonce's song is trending and it's hot sauce in my bag swag. And she looked like a fish out of water and said it. It is demeaning. It is pandering. It is ridiculous, okay? And she asked pointedly ridiculous questions. I want lower taxes, but I want universal health care for all. She had no idea what she was doing.
Okay, Hillary Clinton for universal health care? Damn, dude, she would have won if she was running on that.
And yet both Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden made the time to sit with her because they believe Black people are stupid. And Black people...
Yes. Bernie Sanders, the man who thinks black people are stupid. Yes, out of all people in the world, Bernie Sanders thinks black people are stupid. Yes, you nailed it down. Because you telling Cardi B she's stupid and politicians talking to someone who you call illiterate means they believe all black people are stupid, when in reality, it seems like she is projecting that Candace Owens believes a lot of black people are stupid.
Thought, yay, that's a win. No, it's not a win. It shows you that they still believe that you are so stupid that they couldn't find many of the amazing intellectual black people that we have in the world to sit down with and ask them tough questions. An interview with Condoleezza Rice, right? An interview with Larry Elder. Even if you want somebody that is a Democrat, that's fine. There are way more intellectual black Democrats you could.
Yes, Bernie Sanders he doesn't even know Cornel West, and John Lewis is not involved at all, or wasn't involved when he was alive with Joe Biden's campaign, and all these, and like Martin Luther King's son talking to like Andrew Yang. Of course, we are not talking to any black intellectual leaders. Of course, these politicians are just finding these stupid black celebrities that have no credibility talking on these issues, so they could exploit them. That is the thought process. Look at this dumb black artist saying "occur" and shaking her butt on camera. We can exploit her. I mean, you can see the projection.
Sat down with, yet you chose an illiterate rapper, because that's what she is. She's
illiterate rapper.
Well, I mean, I would have paid money to hear Joe Biden's rendition of Wet Ass. As a popular rap artist myself, whose remix slaps significantly harder than the original.
I hate him. I literally cannot stand this guy. I mean, he's a decent meme. That's all he has going for him.
I can honestly say that Joe Biden's rendition, I would have paid good money for. So I need to ask you about the Kanye issue. So famously, we had a little bit of a tete-a-tete on Twitter when Kanye came out and he was supporting President Trump. And I said, live by the Kanye, die by the Kanye, which is mainly me saying, Kanye takes a lot of positions on a lot of different issues. And you got a little bit upset about that, it seemed, on Twitter. So what do you think is the proper relationship between celebrity and politics? Because I am a strict down the line. I think that celebrities have no place in politics unless...
This is a
ad.
I'm telling you.
Meet Joe Biden's supporters.
And they should not.
That's the best thing in the world, when Donald Trump is like, Joe Biden pushed forward the crime bill to kill black people, but also Joe Biden wants to defund the police. So he's saying Joe Biden both wants to fund and defund the police at the same time, and people buy it.
Unless they actually know what they are talking about on any sort of deep level. I understand the impact of celebrity. I understand, but I object to it.
Right.
But you have, I think, a more nuanced version of that. So what's your view on celebrity and politics?
Yeah, with Kanye, I think what I was upset with was that so many people were just dismissing him and calling him crazy, and it's just not fair. I mean, I think I like Kanye. Kanye's a friend. And Kanye is a person that is a billionaire, and I would not take someone, to be like, he's richer than both you and I sitting here combined, right?
Kanye has money, so he is acceptable. He is a good one. I mean, I guess she hasn't listened to the last couple Kanye projects. If she really believes Kanye is that much more illiterate than Cardi B at this point,
I'm assuming.
I mean, he speaks in literal riddles on purpose.
I don't know. Maybe you're a billionaire, and people keep taking him lightly, and it's been his entire life. Kanye,
he has money. That's why I believe him, and that's why I trust him.
Was not coming out and telling people
Shut
how to
up.
vote. He never said vote for this person. He never said do this. He never said listen to me, follow me. He simply said I support the president, and I'm tired of people bullying me, telling me that I can't wear a MAGA hat. And that was such an important message, especially for Black Americans.
He already came out and said that the MAGA hat was just a marketing technique. I mean, he does these things right before an album's about to drop, like every single time, literally every single time before his album's gonna drop.
And maybe I was emotional in my response, because it is so hard. You try being a Black conservative amidst Black Lives Matter, right? And go out and say I support the president, and you will see how you get treated, right? It's easy. You get called racist. With us, it's ferocious. They want you gone. I mean, they will accuse you of anything. They want you gone. You get death threats. You get all of these horrible things. And here's a guy that's just saying, I'm no longer going to lie about who I support. Not if you don't support him, you're a racist. I mean, we know his wife is not a Trump supporter, despite the fact that she works with them. And I thought this is productive. It's a good thing for someone to say, I'm comfortable saying that I'm Black and I'm a conservative in the cultural realm, especially because we know most Black Americans have their eyes fixed culturally. That it just sent a huge signal that it's okay to break away from the hive mentality. Now, if Kanye was out there saying, I'd like to inform policy because I'm Kanye West, I'd like to go in. I will now be conducting the interviews to sit down with candidates and make sure that what they're doing is great. I would have said, I have a problem with that, right? Because that's ridiculous to assume that.
Okay. In Cardi B's conversation with Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders, she touched on more specific policy than Kanye West has talked about in his entire life. The things Kanye West and Kim Kardashian worked with concerning Trump on criminal justice, they have all been vanity projects. They have all been instances where a couple people are pardoned from a crime, and Donald Trump uses these usually black people that are pardoned from nonviolent offenses or something of the matter, or something like that, and he uses them as a token. Like, literally, he parades them out for things like the Republican convention. Cardi B goes deeper into policy than Kanye West. Like, I'm pretty confident in saying that. You could watch the interviews. She's asking about Medicare for all. She's asking about climate change. She's asking about immigration. She's not just saying these broad terms like, I support our president. She's not just saying broad terms like, I'm sick of black people being controlled. She is literally addressing specific policy issues.
That because you're, a cultural figure, you somehow are now smart enough to be asking political questions is pointedly ridiculous.
But apparently, once you're a billionaire, you are allowed that, authority.
That was the nuance. He wasn't doing anything that I found to be harmful. He just was saying, I support the president.
So I actually agree with that. I think that it's actually a very important thing that...
See, they love it that Kanye West will come up and make a big show out of being black and saying he comes out for Donald Trump without actually getting into any specific policy. They love it. They eat this up. This is what they thrive off of. They thrive off of no specific policies.
That Kanye West put on a MAGA hat and basically said, you know what, it's fine, I'm allowed to...
Putting on the MAGA hat, all symbolism.
A MAGA hat, and as someone who's been called a Jewish Nazi for being a Republican,
right?
I certainly understand the perspective.
Oh yeah. Ben Shapiro is definitely not in congruence with any Nazi policies, as in like genociding Palestinians. He doesn't think they're subhumans or anything.
Of being inside a minority group where it is considered verboten to be on a different side of the political aisle. So I'm very glad that
I just said we should kill all the Palestinians and wipe them out and give all the land there to Israel, and people got mad at me. I don't get it. I don't get it.
I mean, speaking of which, you talk about sort of policy influences. One of the areas in which Kanye and Kim actually did have a policy influence is on criminal justice reform. I know.
Here we go.
Also, I believe of criminal justice reform.
Right.
So I had some difficulty with the criminal justice reform bill that the Trump administration pushed, mainly because I was not of the opinion the criminal justice system is inherently racist. I think there's a case.
This is too much for this video. I'm not going into this.
Case to be made that we should cut back on the drug war, because I think that there are a lot of people in jail for
ridiculous,
for silly crimes,
right?
Or crimes that at least they were in jail for too long for. But overall, I'm not of the opinion that people are being incarcerated for no reason, or that mass incarceration is a serious problem. So where are you on criminal justice reform? And do you think that is
Let's bring up the numbers for incarceration for the U.S. versus the rest of the world, and the rates of poverty and the rates of anything that deems a nation successful, and you'll see the U.S. is lacking.
An effective version of outreach to black Americans?
I think you can. I don't think there's a dichotomy here. I think you can believe in criminal justice reform without subscribing to the idea that black people are being put into jail for no reason. I don't believe. I believe both. I do not believe that black Americans are being put into prison for no reason. But I do believe that some of the harsher sentencing that happened, when Bill Clinton became president, 3 strikes you're out, even if it's 3 small things, 3 strikes you're out, were wrong. And a lot of people were still serving prison sentences because of that. So I think it's good to take a look at the criminal justice system. I don't think it's great, and I'm someone who grew up with uncles that were in and out of prison. I know for a fact when you get a kid when they're young and they're in the system, if you can help them get out, like when they leave, they get $50 in a bus ticket, right? What do you expect someone who's been in prison for a year, you give them $50 in a bus ticket to do in their life, right? They usually go back.
So the First Step Act, which is what they're referring to, eliminated the 3-strike life sentencing provision for some offenses, and it also provided a small $400 million budget to expand the First Step Act programs, which is supposed to help people get off their feet, but they did nothing to address the actual issues in our systems of mass incarceration and the drug war. They did not fix anything substantially. Most of this is posturing.
to crime because they have nothing. And so their way of trying to get ahead is to steal, to rob, do these things. What I loved about what they were doing was creating these transition programs, which were so desperately needed, because you don't want somebody who's desperate dropped back into your community. You want somebody who goes, okay, we're gonna help you find a job, we're gonna help you get on your 2 feet, and that is what I loved and supported about the programming. I do not at all believe that Black Americans are being targeted by the criminal justice system at all. I'm actually staunchly against that. You know, we commit more crimes.
Did you know that every like on this video creates one additional leftist tear gleaming in?
One additional leftist tear. One additional leftist tear. Yeah. Candace Owens knows nothing about rap, and she should keep it out of her mouth and stop calling rap artists illiterate. You know, she can't literally say that Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders and all the people in the campaigns believe black people are dumb or black artists are dumb, and then literally just say that all black artists are dumb, and there's very few that actually touch on actual issues. And I'm sure if you look at the top selling artists, J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, if you look at any of these people, Royce the 5'9", even like Eminem, all these rap artists, although Eminem's not a black artist, of course, but all these people speaking on behalf of black issues and speaking on behalf of political issues today, all these artists she would deem unacceptable as well, guaranteed. And she is hiding behind this veneer as if she is like, oh, there's some positives about rap music. No, if Jay-Z was rapping today about cooking crack and pushing it and becoming an entrepreneur through that in the hood, she would simply say, you know, stop perpetuating the degradation of black culture. She would say, get an actual job. She would say, this is why black people are in prison more, and this is why black people commit more crimes. And I know that because she has said that. For artists rapping about the same things today that Jay-Z rapped about 20 years ago, that Jay-Z rapped about 10 years ago. I mean, 25 years ago now, actually. He's been in it for a while. But, you know, it's complete hypocrisy, and we already know it. We have it on tape, and, yeah, see you next time.